what's going on, everybody? Welcome to, that's right, Survivor. If you are new to the stream, welcome, Rotogrinders.com. I'm Dan Bach. We've got Big T. We've got Mr. Tuttle. We got Chop. And the one thing we all have in common is we've got kids at home. We work from home. We needed an escape, so we thought nothing better than to do a little Fantasy Survivor because our boys at FanDuel decided to launch a game for us. So we're going to have a little fun with it today. I am ready to go. Tony accused me of having moobs a little bit earlier, which I thought was inappropriate. I'm kind of like looking at the guns here a little gun show. But fellas, you ready to go? And Chop, by the way, is it end of times here? Like, what's going on with this look?
It's over. You gotta be fully, first of all, DB, you know me, right? I've been preparing for this with the hand sanitizer and the germaphobe thing for 15, 20 years now. So you're not catching me off guard. This is how I'm walking around my house. I got kids. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're sneaking out and talking to the neighbors. So I got to be careful even in my own house here, man. You know how that goes. So yeah, it's the end. It's over with, man. It's pretty much done for us. Sports are shut off. Fantasy Aces is going to come back alive now, so I'm going to jump in on that stock when it happens. I'm going to get in on that stock because it's at an all-time low right now. So I'm ready to go, man.
Yeah, Tuttle. I hear you're the ace here. Like you've actually done all the breakdown. You're the one that we're probably going to learn the most from my understanding.
I mean, I'm prepared. Some would say potentially over-prepared. I know Big T is not a fan of me diving in on the Reddits and the Reddit pages to see some potential spoilers here to get an edge on the competition. But yeah, I'm prepared. Talked to my wife about it. She was happy because this is like the first thing DFS-wise she's been able to talk to me about for like 10 years. So pretty excited about it.
And Tony, you on the flip side have zero preparation, so this will be interesting.
I mean, so we have a $200. What do we got? A $200 bet before the season, and you specifically said to me, we can't make a bet if you've looked at any spoilers. So I said, like the honorable man that I am, said, okay, I'll just watch the season. I'll watch it play out. And now all of a sudden I sign in today. You didn't know I was listening, and you guys, we were looking at Reddit, and we know who's going out tonight, and I see moobs flying around in the screen. I mean, I don't know what's – pets' heads are falling off.
I can say this much. I definitely did not go to Reddit. I do not have spoilers by any measure here, Tony. So don't call me out for something that I didn't do. Tuttle, on the other hand, like I think Reddit is too far of a line here.
Hey, you have betting odds.
I do.
How do you think they're making those lines? You think people making those lines don't know the spoilers or don't know what happens?
I mean, they're not like great lines. I mean, okay, the line that I found today is that Adam is the favorite to be booted out today, but the odds are like 7-1. It's not even like great odds. It's not like, oh my goodness, like this is definitely happening. And God knows you can't really bet on this in any sort of real market. So I don't know what to think of these spoilers. But all in all, what do you think of the season so far, Chop? Like, this is the winners at war. This is all the former people who've won $1 million. Do you like the format of this season of Survivor?
Yeah, it's okay. They changed things up there. They didn't stay complacent there for very long, so they changed it up on us. I like it. It's I like the back and forth. Constantly switching the tribes up and giving a new dynamic. It's interesting like that. So, but I guess ultimately it always comes down to the personalities within a show like this, any kind of reality show. Do you like the personality, or are you tuned into the personalities? In this case, I've always find it's funner to watch like people that maybe they've played it before and won it before and that kind of thing. I find that always to be more interesting than trying to learn, 25 new people, and then get to figure out who your favorites are. Now you kind of go in and you already know who your favorites are. So yeah, it's entertaining from that standpoint.
The biggest problem I think is these shows need to be 90 minutes long, man. Like there's too much crap happening in 60 minutes, between both tribes and having the competitions, and then you got the redemption, exile, whatever island you want to call it. There's too much stuff happening to get it in 40 minutes of actual real TV. They need to make this 90 minutes, and I don't think anybody would complain about that. That's my biggest gripe about this season.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, they're like FanDuel scoring. You look, they're trying to. They say you could get points if a contestant or team wins an individual reward. They haven't had a reward challenge because they're trying to fit all this into 60 minutes. Because now they have 3 tribes they got to follow around. They got the edge of extinction that they have to follow around. So it's only been one. It's just been the immunity challenge each week, and you don't have to worry about the individual rewards or any of that stuff now.
If you are hanging in the YouTube chat, feel free to throw us a thumbs up. You got questions, we'll interact with you over there. I'm sure you're watching the show like we are. And Tony, what's your big takeaway from this season? I mean, we'll obviously get into the fantasy aspect, but I'm curious what your thoughts are so far in, because it's been a fun season. I love all these guys and gals that we're familiar with, but there's also just I feel there's some ridiculousness with Boston Rob that I can't get over. This dude is I just can't stand him. I do not like him. I don't like him whatsoever. No, he's a bully. He's a bully.
What do you like about Boston Rob? That's great. That's not liking HeadChopper. Someone watching Rotogrinders, I hate HeadChopper. What do you? How can you not like Boston Rob?
Because he's such a bully. He's such a bully out there, and I don't like bullies. I mean, the moment that he told everybody to, at that tribal council, okay, everybody drop your, let's go through our bags here live at tribal. It was just so stupid. He's always such a bully, and I'm so glad they finally voted his ass out, because he was basically going to his old bag of tricks where, we're not allowed to leave camp together. That's just boring. That's just bad TV. So I was glad they finally voted him out, because, he was running the show in his Boston Rob style.
That's what I was saying about Chop, how he said he likes the switches. I hate all the gimmicks. He had complete control of his tribe, and then he gets switched up, and now he's out that quick. I hate that.
That works both ways. Sometimes the guy you like is in a real bad spot and they switch it up and you're like, oh, he's got the power back now. So you're drawn into it. But yeah, that one kind of bit him in the ass.
Yeah, it just drives me. I wanted to go back because it's all stars. It's everybody knows everybody, all winners. I wanted to go back to the original rules, still have some idols and stuff, but less twist. Just play the game. No coming back. If you're gone, you're gone. Just old school Survivor. Not as many twists and loopholes.
So you don't like the fire tokens?
I'm okay with it, I guess, but I don't know. I don't love it. You guys like it?
I think it'll.
We don't know how it's gonna. I mean, I didn't read Reddit, so I don't know how it's gonna play out yet. But I mean, I guess I can change my mind depending on how it plays out.
Yeah. Well, Natalie's a lock to come back now, right?
She's got 9 tokens.
But you can spend them on pizza and shit, right?
Nobody's gonna do that.
I mean, you can't.
We should take a vote. Who do you think is most likely to spend a fire token on pizza?
Probably Nick, because he's.
I think Sandra, just because she's got all the mental game.
Yeah, she does.
You just say, "I'm gonna
just toy with
him."
Yeah, I mean, how pathetic is she too? That she literally has to never participate. There used to be a rule you can't sit out back-to-back immunity challenges.
Don't they
just threw that out. She put it in her contract, I'm sure, that stated if I'm on Survivor, I get to sit out consecutive immunity challenges.
Do you think they seriously put that in? Because they've always had that rule.
You guys are gonna hate that I know this, because I've listened to I actually listened to other podcasts about Survivor as well, not just this week for preparation. But so the rule used to be you can't sit back-to-back contests over one episode span time. But since there's no reward challenge now, it's basically only one immunity challenge per episode. And since the rule has always been per episode, you can't sit back-to-back. There's no back-to-back rule of spanning multiple episodes, basically.
Interesting. Didn't know that. It would have been nice of them to clarify that.
I agree.
It's Bush League. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with your guys' take though about the 60 minutes too. Like one of the reasons I've always liked Big Brother a ton is because you get the 3 episodes a week, which you need sometimes. Like what? Who would be opposed to 3 episodes a week of Survivor, especially right now with no sports? Like we would watch it every night. Like one episode isn't enough.
Especially 1 hour. I mean,
Yeah.
if they wanted to do like 2 or 3 a week at an hour, fine. But like, if you're gonna go once a week, if you're committed to that, you got to give us more time. There's
4 tribes
too much stuff
basically with
happening.
the redemption, like Tuttle
exactly.
said.
And I hate the redemption, by the way, but I think they want to get these people on the show for as long as they possibly can. So, all right, Tuttle, catch us up on exactly where we are with, the idols, the show, and the tribes and all that stuff, because that is really pertinent here. Because if you look at the FanDuel scoring, it's actually, and this is kind of sad to say, they've actually put in a ton of effort on things like this and the democratic debate in terms of the scoring system, the salaries. I mean, better than their NBA product to a large extent, because it's, especially for this, there's a ton of different strategy to look into in terms of building the lineups for this thing.
Well, I will say by their scoring, they unintentionally made it kind of clear what you want to do lineup construction wise. In terms of idols, fire tokens, all that, I haven't been able to find a good source on actually who holds like the fire tokens count. There's not a good fire tokens tracker. So if anybody's out there and wants to start a website that tracks fire tokens, there you go.
I think I know. Let's see. Nick's got 2.
Okay, let's hear it. Nick's got 2.
Nick's got 2.
Parv has 4.
Parv has 4?
Yep.
How does she have 4? She can't have.
She got 2 from Rob last week.
Oh.
She
I think I watched the end of last episode.
He gave her 2. I didn't notice that. I guess he got 1 from Amber, so then he.
And you start with 1.
And you start with 1.
So if you bust out and you got like 5, you got to give them all to somebody.
And this is very important for tonight because if you think Parv is the one that has the most fire tokens, 4. If you think she gets voted out, whoever she gives those fire tokens to is ultimately going to be the highest scorer on the night. Because of how the scoring works.
How much do you get for a fire token?
You get 7.25 for a bequeath fire token.
How much do you get for winning the immunity?
Immunity is 20. So this doesn't include all the side scoring of like crying and stuff because that's basically impossible to handicap. But in terms of like winning immunity, not getting voted out, all that, whoever gets, if Parv gets voted out, whoever would get her fire tokens would be the highest scorer on the night. And who is that going to be though? Is the other thing. Everybody she's partnered with is out.
Yeah, and here's the other problem too, because the highest point thing that we have is, let's see, contestant wins team or individual immunity. That's at 20 points.
Yep.
The second highest is the contestant re-enters the game from extension. That's not going to happen this episode.
Yep.
But contestant plays immunity idol at tribal council. But here's the tricky thing here, Tuttle, is that's 10 points. But you have to count the negatives that are going to come along with that, right? Because if somebody is playing that, they're going to have votes against them at minus 1.5. Yep. So it kind of like doesn't make it that valuable to be picking somebody who's going to play an immunity idol, right? Like,
right. So my initial stance on it, and based on the scoring, so we know 2 teams go to tribal tonight. So that leaves 1 team that wins immunity. So lineup construction wise, you're immediately, and Big T and I talked about this before the show. You basically just want to stack the team that you think is going to win immunity. So you got to fill 4 guys from that. And then my initial thought was, then you want somebody that's going to play an idol. And all the idols are on to call. Denise has one, Kim has one. I believe Sandra still has one that she has to play tonight. I believe tonight's the episode that she has to play it. So she's going to be playing an idol tonight. So she's going to have 10 points. But then the whole Parv thing came up with the fire tokens. So I think is this last person is part of your stack. You play somebody who you think is either going to play an idol or you play somebody who you think is going to be bequeathed the most fire tokens, basically.
So well, here's the deal too. We know that one of these three teams is not going to go to tribal council because there's 2 tribal councils today, right? So the teams are Jeremy, Sandra, Kim, Denise, Tony, Michelle, Wendell, Yule, Parvati, Nick, and then Sophie, Ben, Adam, Sarah, and Rob's out. So it's Sophie, Ben, Adam, and Sarah. So what are you predicting in terms of which team is not going to go to tribal this game?
Who do you guys think wins? I mean, Sandra's going to sit. We know that.
Let's be clear here. First of all, because I have no idea I don't even think I watched the end of the last episode because I don't remember Poverty getting those tokens. But so is only one person getting voted out? So 2 teams are going, only one total's leaving, or
no, 2 total.
2.
So they're going 2 separate, not the same one?
Yep, 2 separate tribals.
So 2 separate. So one team's immune, 2 teams are going, 2's going to redemption, and then next week someone's probably coming back. Right?
Yeah, or whenever the merge is. I haven't looked far ahead.
If 2 more go to redemption, that's going to be what? 8?
Yeah, how many are on redemption now?
We're worried about this episode here, Tony. We're not worried about next episode.
I'm strategizing. I didn't read the Reddit here coming in. I mean, we're doing a show. I'm strategizing. Don't worry about it. So we got 6. Okay. I'm working through it here. I'm looking at the numbers.
I think the thought is at the merge is when they're going to allow somebody from the edge of extinction to come back on.
And then they're going to do one more later in the show?
Yep.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's get back to the question.
So is there even numbers? So the reason I was working into that is because I wanted to see the numbers for tonight. So there's 6.
No, it's 5-5-4.
5-5-4 and 6 on redemption. Okay.
Yeah. So Sandra will sit for the call. So it'll be Denise, Jeremy, Kim, and Tony. Sele Parv's probably going to sit. So it'd be Michelle, Nick, Wendell, and Yule, which
Nick's
seems like a strong team to me.
Nick's kind of worthless, by the way, too. But
and then Adam, Ben, Sarah, and Sophie.
Yeah, that team isn't winning. Definitely the team with Sarah is not winning, so you can scratch them out. They're going to tribal for sure. I mean, you got a team with Jeremy, Tony.
Tony's not that good though at these things at these
Denise
contests.
is like the most ripped old lady ever.
Dude, she is. That's goal right there. Yeah. Goals.
She's on my squad against DB, Denise.
So I mean, I think that's where it starts.
But yeah, whoever you decide is going to, whoever you think is going to win immunity is basically how you're going to create your team.
So can you stack? That's my next question. Can you stack 4 of any of the teams?
Yes. Salary is pretty much not an issue.
Oh. So is there a way that the winner is not a stack with whoever gets the random points?
I don't think so.
I mean, I think it all boils down to where Parvati, if she goes out, where she drops her 4 fire tokens, right?
She's not going out tonight.
If she goes out, she would be.
According to my my betting sheet that I hear, it says let's see. They predict Adam Klein of Yara and Parvati Shallow of Sele will be the unfortunate victims of this week's episode.
So that means they're predicting that the Sandra team wins.
Yes, that's what they're.
I don't see it, man. But I mean, you don't know what kind of challenge we're going to get.
Sandra's on the team with Jeremy and Tony. That's who I think is going to win.
You think that's who's going to win the challenge?
I think having Jeremy and Tony in a 4-man comp is a pretty big edge. I don't know.
So does that change you in wanting to play Sandra then? Or not really, because
she could play an idol too. So that's the thing. We're only going to play 4 of the stack, right? So
well, if you think she wins, then she's not going to play.
So you should play her even though she's not playing the challenge, because she still would get credit for winning, right?
Right.
And if
so she's got to be a lock almost, because she's going to play an idol, or no, because she's going to win.
Well, but if you win, you get 20 points, right?
You would technically have the ceiling and the floor, right?
Yeah. So Sandra,
so is she our captain? Is she our captain? Is that the play?
She's not mine because I've read spoilers.
Oh, what
the? Oh my gosh.
No, this is you're looking at the box score.
Okay.
This is very disappointing.
This is not necessarily
like, do you know who's voted out?
I don't know who's voted out guaranteed. What I will say, and this is in the public sphere for all to consume, is that Sandra has been very active on her social media accounts this week. And you could take that, she could either be trolling people. So she posted a screenshot of Extinction Island, and that's it. That was one of her posts on Instagram. And then on Cameo, she's
following these people on Instagram.
Yeah, I know, right? And then on Cameo, she said, "I'm not looking forward to this week's episode."
Did you buy that? Did you pay like $50 to get that
message? No, I wish. No, that was just spoiler I found. So who knows?
She's gonna go home with an idol.
She could. I'll tell you right now, she's totally trolling. Like these people.
See, I think she could be too.
Like, big.
I don't think she is.
Big NDAs not to like give anything away. Like,
so Chop, if she's not trolling, how does she go home with an idol?
I think she's not going home. I think she loses somebody close to her in this game, and that's what she's saying.
Tony,
who's close to her?
It'd be Tony then. Tony's the closest on the team.
Then now we're back to that team losing. Then
I never had that team winning in the first place. I got my eye on another team stack, and
who do you have winning? Who do you have winning?
The team with Wendell.
Dude, he's a stud.
Wendell and Yule and those guys. Poverty.
They're in a really good spot. They've got their 3 versus the other 2 in that tribe. They're tight.
They got the puzzles too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Physical should be okay. Puzzle should be okay.
Yeah. No, they're so. Let's get back to the Parvati side of things because there's a good chance she might go. Okay. She's got these fire tokens. Dan says 4. I count 3 unless I'm missing something.
I think it's 4. She got it. You start with 1.
Yeah.
She got 2 from Nick, and 2 from Rob, and then she also got 1 from, was it Danny maybe?
No, she got it from whoever the old dude with cancer is.
Ethan.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. The old dude with cancer. There you go.
Jesus. So she's got 4. Who would we project that she might give them to? Because I think that is a key component to getting that last person in.
That's where it's tough. I don't know. Like Michelle is my guess, but who knows?
I'm looking at the list. Like, there definitely isn't anyone that is super tight with her.
Right, they're all on Extinction.
Yeah. I don't see Parv going home tonight, so I'm not even.
Why? What do you mean? Like, why would they not get rid of her if, especially? I mean, you're basically saying that Wendell's team is going to win then.
Right? Yeah. I mean, you're right.
I mean, Wendell doesn't want to vote out his ex-girlfriend, does he? Michelle, like maybe.
Who knows?
They didn't seem too happy last week on that.
I don't know how that ended, but it sounded like she might have been a little more interested in it than he was. I don't know.
Yeah, he wasn't having it.
See, that's what we should do, though, is we should go tribe by tribe. If they have to go to tribal, who's going home, do you think?
Okay, let's do that. Jeremy, Sandra, Kim, Denise, Tony. We don't think it's Sandra because she's got an idol. Jeremy's got an idol.
Jeremy's got the advantage.
Okay.
He can just leave. He can just bounce.
Okay. Tony's a psycho. Denise is kind of in the background. Kim is the way they phrased it last show, or maybe it's like a preview of this one, is she's like the swing vote, right? Like she's in between Sandra and Tony and Denise and Jeremy. Did you get that vibe? I think Tony's the one that's gone.
Tony is not going. We need some side action on like who goes when these teams go to.
Well, in this, who would you pick to go instead in that tribe?
So
in this tribe,
I'll give you guys. So before I heard you guys say anything, like I had my thoughts without reading Reddit. I'll throw that out there again. I thought Sandra was going to go home tonight before I thought anything. Like when I was making my teams before that we came on and stuff, I didn't want to pick Sandra because I thought she was going to go. So before I knew anything else, that was my thought.
I'll say Tony. What do you say, Chop? Out of that,
Who I think is going to go home out of that tribe, I'm going to say, man, I always thought it was going to be Kim. But
we should put like 100 on this and write down who we all pick and see who's more accurate just with this. Even though Tuttle might know the freaking answer.
You don't want me in on this because I.
Well, no, you already know who wins the whole damn season, Tuttle.
Tuttle's totally out.
Let me just say. Let me say the spoiler that I read. It's a list of 4 names that are likely to go pre-merge. So it's not necessarily guaranteed for this episode. Okay. Although I did hear, this isn't a spoiler, but there's a theory going out about tonight with tonight's episode based on the thought that Sandra might go home because of her social media's postings. The thought is, and again, this isn't a spoiler. This is just based on Sandra's social media postings, which she might be trolling us all. The thought is that it is Jeremy, Denise, and Kim vote against Tony. Sandra and Tony vote against Denise. Sandra plays her idol that she has to play tonight for Tony. Denise then plays her idol for herself. And then it goes to a revote in which then Jeremy and Kim vote Sandra off.
Wow. If that actually hits,
that's the theory.
That's gonna hit. Like that's a spoiler. Like dude, that's happening.
That's a spoiler and a half. You just gave away the entire episode right here.
That literally just was what's gonna happen. And I don't even need to watch the episode tonight.
Like God, I hope that doesn't happen. So
Chop, we can just go play in the poker room. We don't need to watch that.
Like, why'd I ruin it? Gave it away. That's like
we should have.
This is some random person.
Deep Tuttle. Jeez.
I have no idea the credibility beyond this theory.
That sounds pretty credible to me.
Here's the thing that I don't think that's what happens for this simple fact. I know she's very strategic, but I don't see her using her idol on anybody else except for herself. Because she's selfish first and foremost. She's selfish.
Her whole thing is me getting to the next vote. Like if it's not her, like who cares? Like it's Tony. Oh, well.
I'm going with that actually happened. She's going home.
Wow. Tony is buying the spoiler.
I like it. Chop, man. Why would she use it on Tony?
Because it's her only person that she can trust a little bit right now. She probably thinks she's safe. You know how smart she thinks she is. She wants to get those points. Like, I played this right. Like I did this. I didn't use it for myself. I saved Tony.
She doesn't want to save Tony. She doesn't even like Tony. I don't.
Let's get some action. Us 3 then of who goes home.
Okay, fine. I will take the side of Sandra does not.
No, we're picking a person on each one.
And you can take the side of Sandra. Getting voted out after 4 idols being played. Go right ahead.
Picking one person from each team, and then we're gonna $100. Whoever's more accurate.
Who gets voted out?
Well, you're not allowed in. Us 3.
Okay. You already know the episode.
Yeah, us 3 for $100. Who's in?
Yeah. How do we win?
We're just picking one person from each, and whoever's the most accurate.
Who we think gets voted out. I say Tony.
Okay, and Chop says you said Kim, right?
I'm gonna stay with Kim, I guess. Yeah, she's kind of wishy-washy.
We all got a different person on this trial.
And you're taking Sandra. Okay,
next, just for fun, he's not allowed to play. But who's Tuttle picking?
I would do Sandra.
So yeah, I feel good now.
You know something.
I don't know. I don't know for sure. Based on that, I think the theory is so detailed that, and it does kind of make sense. Although
a lot of idols to be played. Like
I go back and forth with the whole thing Chop brought up. Though Sandra's so me first, and she in everything she's done. That why would she play it for Tony?
Why would they vote out Denise of all people? Why wouldn't they put those votes on like Jeremy or?
There's actually a theory.
I wish I could put like 1,000 on this.
Okay, let's get to the next. Let's get to the next tribe here. Okay, Michelle, Wendell, Yule.
Before you move on, hold on one second. Okay. What are we in a hurry? We got no sports for the next one.
That's true. That's true.
So if this does play out like this and all these items, so Denise plays one, Sandra plays one, Sandra goes home. How does the scoring for FanDuel work on all this? Have we thought about that?
So 10 points if you play an idol.
Okay. So does it go for Sandra or Tony?
So I believe that's the other thing with that. because it could be either way, right? Sandra could play it at the tribal for Tony, or she could give it to him before tribal and he plays it. So that depends on what you think with that.
Yeah,
so whoever plays it gets the 10, and you get 20 for winning immunity or winning the challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, they needed to deflate the scoring for winning immunity.
Yeah, because now it comes down to just picking one person.
Yeah, because here's the deal. You're right, because if you get that team right that wins, not only that, but then you're going to get fire tokens from potentially 2 people.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, I guess, because they're not going to necessarily know that. Like, I'm wondering, can somebody bequeath a fire token to, somebody on the other losing tribe?
Yes.
They can.
You can, to anybody.
Even if they're, as long as they're not on the island or whatnot? On extinction?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Interesting. But there's okay. Let's get to the next tribe here. Michelle, Wendell, Yule, Parvati, Nick. I mean, this basically boils down to Michelle or Parv, right? That's got to be it. Either one of those are gone. I say Parv.
I'll go, and I'll say if this thing goes to council, it's going to be Michelle.
And Chop or T?
Not going to be Yule. It's not going to be Wendell. So the other 3 are Parv, Michelle, and Nick?
Yep. Yeah, say Nick. Just do it. Come on.
I think, man,
come on.
This team's going to win. This team for sure is going to win, I think, the more I'm looking at it.
Well, it's for the sake of our win.
Yeah, I'll take Nick just for the sake.
Oh God, this is the easiest money.
Okay. You really think it's going to be Parvati? All right.
I don't think it's going to be
no chance it's going to be Nick. They've got a 3.
Well, no, not Nick, but I think Wendell kind of.
Yeah.
I think Wendell kind of. He's enough of a cowboy out there and with a big head to think, I'm going to vote off my ex-girlfriend. I'm going to get everybody to.
But he can make a hell of a shelter. I'll tell you that.
So who's the 3 per?
That's why he's not going anywhere.
Who's the 3 that are in it? Not Parv and not who? Michelle?
Yes. You already said Nick. Your vote is in. Your vote is.
That's fine because this team's going to win anyway.
Okay. Yeah, this team is. I like this team to win. This team. Yeah, I like this team to win.
Okay.
There's literally no way this team doesn't win. So you got to pick the right 4 out of the 5.
Okay, last team, and then we got to get to extension because there's actually stuff happening over there on this episode. Sophie, Ben, Adam, and Sarah. Those are the 4 that we've got. I don't think it's Sophie. She's the favorite as in betting odds to win the whole thing.
This is a nice weak team.
I got Sophie on my other team. Is Sophie seriously the favorite?
She is the favorite. She's the favorite to win.
So win what?
Whole thing.
Really?
On the betting odds that I've seen.
Oh,
not like a super strong favorite, but she's
wow, I didn't even see that. That's interesting.
So if you look at how this team's constructed now, can we talk about how stupid it was to bet Rob to vote Rob off last week?
Yes.
For sure.
They could just get him this week if they really wanted to. But now it's just a 2-2 if one of the guys don't flip.
I mean,
I'm picking Adam. Adam's going for sure.
Yeah.
Adam's
on.
That's my pick too.
And there's no way Adam's not
Ben's
going.
not gonna hitch his horse to freaking Adam. Like it'll be like, okay, you want to get Adam out? Sounds good. Like that was his game before. Just
Sarah will be able to talk him into it anyway.
Yeah. So so we're in agreement there. So it basically boils down to, I think Tony, you think Sandra, Chop thinks Kim.
Yeah.
And then I've got Parv, Chop has Michelle. Did you even pick somebody there? Oh yeah, you got Nick. Sorry about that.
That one's not. I mean, it's going to literally come down to if his spoiler's right, I win 100 from both of you donkeys. If his spoiler's wrong, then one of you wins 100.
Now, I don't think this is a spoiler because it's public and CBS came out with it. But if you go to their YouTube page, they have like little previews of what's coming up this episode. And one of the things that they have this week is apparently there's a big hunt for a fire token out on extinction. Everybody is searching for it. thoughts on, and this, let's add this into the equation, into things that we're trying to get right. Who finds the fire token on Extinction Island?
Well, I would say, first of all, my first thought is here. My wife gets mad at me when we watch a show, any show, and then the episode ends and you know it's the last scene, and I immediately switch the channel or get it off the DVR. I don't watch scenes from, because I find those to be incredible spoilers, and I tell her those are spoilers. I don't want to see it, so I switch it. So you guys are ahead of me here already. I don't like the spoil. I don't like the scenes.
Well, I mean, that's all the preview was like a minute, and it was.
I know.
Tyson brought the little log that's like, oh, there's.
I've never watched scenes from on there. I like to turn it off before then. But I say I like Rob. I like Rob out here.
All right. Tuttle, do you have a spoiler on this?
No.
I don't, but regarding the edit, and going back just real quick to the Yara tribe, there is in that preview for the week, there's an edit of Adam talking about two teams going to tribal. And so the thought is that is one theory is that means his team's going to tribal. But anyways, going back to Extinction.
That has nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Yeah, I didn't quite follow that. No, it did, because you were talking about Adam before.
Okay.
But Edge of Extinction, I'm going to go with Natalie. Why not?
She's
everything on there. Yeah.
I was gonna pick Natalie too, because she found it every time.
She's a beat. Her. She actually has competition now with Tyson and Rob. But
Tyson is like I think he's my favorite player. Dude is just hilarious. Like, how great was it when he walked back into Extinction Island after he got voted out? And he's like, where did you guys get all this firewood? They literally killed themselves for days to get this. You guys have a lot of firewood. It was like just the absolute perfect line.
He gets to enjoy it all too. He just got there. Nice, warm, not sleeping nice and warm.
So I'll be biased and say Tyson gets it. I don't know that he will, but that's who I'm.
So let me talk about the scoring again. There's literally zero reason to take any of these. They can't like get some mystery. And look, I guess if in theory they came back, which isn't happening, but so literally no reason to take. Why they should have done something crazy for these guys to at least make you think about taking them.
Who's this? Sorry, it was
just the people on Extinction. Like whoever finds the coin gets 20 or something, just to at least ponder taking them.
Yep. Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, because it's bequeathed a fire token. It's not find a fire token. They need to add that to the scoring next time.
You just got to hope one of them catches like 20 fish and you're good to go.
You get points for that? Seriously?
Yeah. 2.5 points for catching a fish.
Yes. Contestant catches seafood for his or her tribe.
What if that's like a spoiler? Like they throw the net in and one of them gets like 30 of them. Breaks the slate.
Contestant cries on camera with tears. Do we think anybody does that?
What was it?
Anybody cries on camera with tears. I mean, how do you justify tears? How do you know whether you get the tear or not? I don't like that.
You can usually tell if there's tears.
They need to replace that. That's too subjective. Way too subjective. Contestant finds or buys a hidden immunity idol.
That could definitely happen with whoever trades a coin or whatever they do. Or does it have to be like actually buy it with your coins?
Yeah, I think that people will be buying them at some point. I just don't think it's that yet. Trying to see if there's anything else. Contestant survives the week, 5 points. Receives a vote, -1.5. I think we covered pretty much everything else.
See, the survives a week stacked upon winning immunity too. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Is because if you win immunity, you're also surviving the week. So you're immediately 25 points right there.
So you feel pretty confident we're going to have duplicated winning lineups here total?
Yeah, we're definitely having a duplicate.
Oh, yeah. Except it won't be as much because I think the strategy is, again, whoever you think, if you think Parvati goes home, you have to guess right who she gives those fire tokens to. That's who's going to be the highest scoring player on the slate. That's who your captain has to be. and then you have to stack a different team. So it depends if you think Parvati go homes or not.
And she was on a tribe with Jeremy and Denise earlier. Not that she's got loyalty to them, but you have that in play. Clearly not giving it to anybody that I think would vote her out, which I don't know why Tyson gave Nick his fire token. That made zero sense. But
right, she could do something like that because she doesn't have any strong alliances where she's just like, oh, whatever, I'll just give it to this person.
She's going to give it to a female. I feel pretty confident of that. Don't you think? I mean, I think it's a fair. She had the bonding moment with Michelle over the Wendell breakout. Yeah, because Michelle nearly gave her half of that immunity idol early on. Remember?
But she made fun of her, didn't she?
No, Adam made fun of her. Adam's like, why would you give it to Parv? Remember? Because she found that immunity idol where she had to give half to somebody else. Which, by the way,
that was Denise, right?
You're right. That was Denise. Denise. And which, by the way, Ben was there when she got the immunity idol. And then she didn't even think for a second to give him half of it.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't get that at all. I was like, okay, he's there. You know you have it. You're reading what's going on. And then she didn't even remotely consider giving him half of that idol, which was
that was crazy. That was mind-blowing.
So Denise might be the savvy pick there.
Yeah, so if you think Denise somehow gets those fire tokens, if Parv goes out,
that's gonna break the slate. Going to break. She played with Yule as well. Could be a connection there.
Otherwise, if Parv doesn't go out, then the highest scoring player is going to be the team on the team that wins immunity, and if they get fire tokens from who's ever voted out. That would then be the highest scoring player and who you would want in your captain spot.
Interesting.
So how do we, the last question though is, how's the scoring, these 5-man tribes, if one of them, I think we all agree that one of the 5-man is going to win. Is the scoring going to be the same for all 5, or how do they separate the 4 from the 5, I guess is what I'm asking. Are they all going to have the same score?
I think it's all the same score based on
There's
scoring.
no bonus. Like if one of them catches a fish, then they're ahead of the other 4.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So is there an edge? I guess what I'm saying. So say we picked the Parv tribe. We all kind of think that. I'm assuming we all think they win. Yule, Wendell, Parv, Nick, Michelle. Is there a strategy like not taking Yule and punting Yule as one of the 5, and just hoping you get lucky there?
So you would pick then, if you think that team's going to win, you would pick I think the first thing you would pick is if you think any of them could potentially get a fire token bequeathed to them from one of the other 2 tribes. Otherwise, then the tiebreaker would, be if you think one of them's going to catch a fish.
You're just going to get so much less ownership though, right? Like not taking one of the top 3, like punting Yule, basically Yule or Wendell, not taking one of those 2.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty fair point, yeah.
Because if you take Michelle over them, you're going to eliminate, because everyone's just going to go click the first 4 blue. Are these blue buffs? I'm colorblind. Blue buffs, purple buff. What is it?
Blue.
The blue buffs. Everyone's just going to click the first 4 when they're stacking it. They're not going to play Michelle.
Yeah.
Especially if we don't play Wendell. You're going to eliminate 90% of the stacks right there.
This is fair.
Game theory. I like it.
There you go.
That's, Big T, it took a while to get you into this a little bit, but you brought something to the table here.
I'm going to get 100 from you and Chop for doing this show because I listen to the spoilers.
You picked Nick to get voted out. So
no, I don't, because they're going to win. What do you mean?
Do you trust Tuttle's
Yes, I do, because it's going to happen. It made perfect sense to me.
All right.
I'm going to be sweating tonight now.
It's going to happen exactly like that, and it's going to be glorious.
I will be on my phone watching for the text message from you.
We got to be watching live tonight too. We need to all be watching live so we can be.
I will be. I don't normally watch live, but I've got nothing better to do.
We got no sports. We got to get in there and watch it live now.
I will get in to watch it. All right, man. I think we're done here with Survivor. I'll be curious to see what FanDuel does on more of these type of things. I have a hunch though, with the way that this was built out, they're going to do it every week.
Well, there you go. You got much else to do back there behind the scenes. They might as well.
DB, you know more than me about this, but why can't they put it up for like $10 or something on there? Is it illegal?
It's just against regular.
I mean,
all this
no
stuff
idea.
is regulated in states all over the place.
Yeah.
So, like the moment you add money into it, you're kind of, can't do it. Just sorry, Tony. But you can bet on the NFL draft. That's going to be the highest bet sport, by the way, or event in the next few months. So should be fun. We'll have some content for that too when that comes closer. But we got to get out of here. Had some fun with this one. Thanks, Tuttle. Thanks, Chop. Thanks, Big T. Devin for producing. We'll enjoy Survivor tonight. We'll see how it all breaks down. Till then, thanks for watching. See you later.